Good morning from Hermosillo International Airport. Today we are going to fly on Aeromexico on their Boeing 737s down to Cancun with a stopover in Mexico City. Let's go. Our first stop this morning is at the Aeromexico check-in counter. Check-in is a breeze as there aren't many people. Hermosillo International Airport is relatively small compared to other airports across the country, and considering the size of the city it serves, Hermosillo has a population of nearly 1 million people. Still, the airport is only a 10-minute drive from downtown, and all of the country's largest airlines fly here. The airport is quite modern with bright signage, clean floors, and open atmosphere, and, something that's becoming a staple of all Mexican airports, Starbucks with its overpriced coffee, though none was bought today. Security here is also a breeze. The time to get from check-in to the gates? About 5 minutes this morning. Our first flight of the day is Aeromexico 715, and with a departure time of 1:57 p.m., we are plenty early. Airside, there are 5 ground gates next to Carl's Jr., Starbucks, and some duty-free shops. Views of the apron are pretty good from here, although there isn't much action out there. There is a second level with 2 jet bridge gates, a subway, another Starbucks, more shops, and a VIP lounge. This Aeromexico 737 is using one of the jet bridge gates, and it's heading out to Mexico City. In the distance, you can barely see a former Aviaxa 737-200 parked out in the desert. By the way, if you've never heard of this airline, it used to be a Mexican low-cost carrier that operated from 1990 to 2011, using an interesting fleet of Boeing 727s and classic 737s, among other aircraft. Though this airport is relatively small, it still sees international service in the form of this daily American Eagle flight from Phoenix, using an Embraer 175. About an hour before boarding, we find out that we will board from Gate 6, a jet bridge gate. So we head upstairs and do some more plane spotting. This TAR ERJ-145 pulls in for a flight to La Paz. It was leased to Mexicana, a new airline created by the Mexican government as a revival of the old Mexicana that operated until 2010, and thus wears Mexicana's logo. With half an hour to departure, our aircraft arrived from Mexico City. Registered as X-Ray Alpha Delta Romeo Alpha, it is an 18-year-old 737-800, delivered new to Aeromexico in September 2006. Soon, it's time to board. Considering that we were traveling with my elderly grandmother, we were the first ones allowed on board the aircraft. This aircraft has a total of 160 seats, 16 Clase Premier or business class seats at the front of the aircraft, arranged in a 2-2 configuration with a pitch of 39 inches. The economy cabin is arranged in a 3-3 configuration. The first 3 rows of the economy cabin are extra legroom seats called AM+. There are 18 of these seats in total, with a pitch of 34 inches. Behind that are 126 standard economy seats with a pitch of 31 inches. My seat for today, 25F, a window seat on the right side of the aircraft. All seats have a personal in-flight entertainment screen and power outlets. Back here in economy, the screen size is about 9 inches.
Acercándonos al área del Valle de México con probabilidad de turbulencia ligera y ocasional.
Boarding concludes, the safety demonstration starts playing, and the aircraft begins pushback.
Eduardo Garcia, First Officer Alejandro Esqueda, And the flight attendant crew give you the most cordially welcome on board to this flight 715 with destination to Mexico City. The estimated flight time to Mexico City will be...
We're gonna fly now.
But doesn't it have to catch speed first?
Yes, it will. Let's take a look at today's route map. Today's route will take us 2 hours and 19 minutes to traverse 1,005 miles or 1,617 kilometers. We will be cruising at an altitude of 37,000 feet or 11,277 meters. Around 10 minutes after departure, the crew went around the cabin distributing these disposable headphones for the in-flight entertainment screens. The screen itself was quite bright and responsive. There was a decent selection of movies and TV shows, more than enough to keep one busy during this short flight. There is also a feature that allows you to see the different aircraft in Aeromexico's fleet, as well as a feature to check out the airline's different destinations. I spent my time listening to music, using this screen's music feature, and looking at the in-flight map, of course. Behind the seat in front of you, a pouch provides storage space and holds the safety information card and an air sickness bag. Power is provided in the form of a single USB port located on every screen. While it does work, it takes a brutally slow time to charge your device. About 45 minutes into the flight, the crew started handing out snacks and beverages. Back here in economy, passengers had the choice of peanuts or cookies and a drink of their choice. I chose a peanuts and a glass of water. While the portion is small, it's still an improvement over what you'd get on any budget airline. This seat has some pretty good recline. There is also an adjustable headrest, which made the seat more comfortable. This aircraft is supposedly equipped with Wi-Fi, but when I tried it out, it didn't work. The design of the overhead air vents appeared to be pretty old, although everything worked, as well as the window shades, which weren't the easiest to pull down. Before long, our descent into Mexico City began as the seatbelt sign was turned on. Welcome to Mexico City. Overall, this first leg was pretty good. The seat was comfortable, the service was on point, the entertainment had some pretty good choices, and the snack, while not substantial, was more than welcome. We arrive at Terminal 2, Aeromexico's main hub and deplane. Now, it's time for our second leg to Cancun. Terminal 2 here at Mexico City is a hot mess. Overcrowded with people, it's designed so ill-equipped to handle them. Shops and restaurants spread out so far apart. A lack of moving walkways makes it a lot slower to get around. I've been at airports like LAX before, and this makes LAX look like a small-town airport in comparison. There is a shortage of seating and of charging stations to charge one's device. The design of the gates and departure lounges is confusing at best. Since we hadn't eaten in a while, we were all hungry, but all we could find were overpriced Starbucks croissants. Even with our nearly 2-hour connection time, we still had to rush to our gate, barely making it to board our flight. Speaking of, our second flight today is Aeromexico 556, and it was operated by X-Ray Alpha Juliet Golf Quebec, a 2-year-old Boeing 737 MAX 9 delivered new to Aeromexico in February 2022. This aircraft has 181 seats, 16 Clase Premier seats in a 2-2 configuration, 18 AM Plus seats, and 147 Standard Economy seats arranged in a 3-3 configuration. My seat for this last leg, 26F, a window seat, once again on the right side of the aircraft. Since we were the last to board, the door closed quickly, pushback began, and we were on our way. let's take a look at the route map for this final leg. Today's flight will take us 1 hour and 55 minutes to traverse 803 miles or 1,292 kilometers. Our cruising altitude once again will be 37,000 feet or 11,277 meters. The in-flight entertainment system is pretty similar as to the one on the previous leg. The only difference is that the in-flight map is quite interactive. There is a 3D model of the aircraft and there are a bunch of different views that you can view your flight from. My personal favorite view is this cockpit view that allows us to see the aircraft's altitude and speed. Power is provided in the form of a USB port located on every screen and an actual power outlet, which worked leaps and bounds better than the USB port. The power outlets are located in between each seat. About 45 minutes after departure, the in-flight service began. Just like on the last leg, there was a choice of peanuts and cookies and a beverage of your choice. And once again, I got the peanuts and a glass of water. The air vents are a much newer design than the ones on the 737-800s, and everything worked quite well. And within a blink of an eye, we began our final descent into Cancun. Welcome to Cancun. Overall, a pretty decent experience with Aeromexico. The seat was comfortable, the service was on point, the entertainment system was interactive and had good choices. My only complaint would be the chaotic connection in Mexico City. If you're connecting through Terminal 2, I recommend having at least a 2-hour layover at minimum. When the aircraft touched down, the pilots hit the brakes hard. As we exited the airport, we would find out why. So we have just landed in what appears to be torrential rains, but yeah, that's it for this video. We're here in Cancun. I'm tired, it's been a long flight, but it's been a good experience with Aeromexico. Overall, a very good airline, the service is great, the product is great. A lot about this carrier is awesome. So yeah, that's it for this video, and oh, the rain's strengthening up again. But until next time, I'll see you down the line.